Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis update of gold and silver. We'll jump through the dollar, 10-year yield, and then go through the precious metals, ETFs, and whatnot to give you a picture of what's going on in the market. Again, it's just my financial opinion. Let's jump right to the charts. So here we go. This is the dollar. The dollar was weaker today, 0.52%. So weaker dollar, we had a strengthening yield, 2.31% higher. This thing is definitely breaking out of its pattern. We draw the neckline in about right there. And we are breaking out of this neckline. Looks really strong for yields to continue higher over time. I mean, short term, we may have a little bit of a pullback to this line in the very short term, but overall, it looks like we've got an uptrend going. Looking at gold, we were up slightly today. Again, this thing is chopping back and forth. The thing I don't like about this chart at the moment is these big down candlesticks everywhere, like the big impulse moves lower. And they're still existing on the right-hand side of this chart. And usually what that indicates is that it might break to the downside. And we haven't seen that change that much yet. But again, it's just statistical probability. And we could break down here, consolidate, and then rocket higher. So we'll see what happens there. Silver also has those big down blowout days all over the place. And the up days are smaller than the down days. It makes me think that something's about to go to the downside. So they're all over this chart. And I don't see the big up buying pressure days to match it. Makes me think it wants to break to the downside. Platinum, we've got this ascending wedge that broke to the downside, and we have another ascending wedge that's forming. We could see more downside here because it's slightly tilted upward. Whenever things tilt upward, they like to break downward. So that's what we're seeing in the short term. I think we might see more selling pressure, potentially. Karora Resources, again, we've got this ascending wedge type pattern which broke to the downside. So we could still see more downside pressure. EXK, looking at this, we've got some support right where it's at. We'll see if it holds. SILJ, again, we're kind of at these support areas. So we'll see if these support areas hold. And what we look for is a high, a lower high, a lower high. If these things are going to keep breaking to the downside, and then if we break down here, it'll be a lower low. So we might still be in a pullback mode, unfortunately. GDX, we're right at the support line or support area for this pattern. We'll see if it holds. But the reason I'm getting more bearish is this big down candlestick was massive. It's this big momentum push right there, just boom, hit on its head, and we had a good momentum coming down, continuation pattern, and then a move lower. So yeah, I'm bullish on the long-term perspective. I'm just seeing the selling pressure's been quite immense in the short term. That's where I'm getting a little bit worried because these big down days don't go away. They just continue to be around. They stick around. And we'll see which way this thing goes, but this could break to the downside just like in Discovery Silver here. We could see a move lower. AG, again, what I'm looking at are these large down candlesticks, and they don't go away. And usually when you see these large down candlesticks, it's a continuation pattern to the downside. So we'll see if support holds, but the momentum is lower. Newmont looks like it's hanging on. We got a nice big buying pressure day here. It looks a little more balanced over on this right-hand side of the buying pressure and selling pressure. Mag Silver, I mean, this does not look good. We've got big selling pressure, and then no buying pressure coming back up. Big selling pressure. It's like, what the heck is mounting here? This wants to go lower, in my opinion, just from those large selling pressure days all over the place. And I'm seeing it everywhere. I was hoping that this could turn it around, but we're seeing these big down selling pressure days mixed in all over the place. They're not going away. Usually, when something's going to turn and move higher, these big selling pressure days go away. So it's weird that they're sticking around. Impact Silver's at its support line. Aftermath Silver's looking like it's getting some support, heading higher today. Arcana Gold, it's a tough one to read because this is such a big momentum down day that I think it's going to have to go chopping sideways for a little bit. And PLG looks like it's actually good to move higher. Bullish engulfing pattern, and it coincides. I'm just going to go to Palladium real quick, guys. It coincides with a stronger Palladium price. Palladium here actually looks quite good to go up. So here's Palladium there, and it looks really good with the buying pressure and small selling pressure to go higher. So that's Palladium, and that's why PLG, I think, looks quite solid. Looking at the royalty companies like Sandstorm Gold, the thing that when you see things go down, I mean, I'm starting to look at this from a more of a bearish perspective. You got all these big down days with no big up days in here. You kind of squeeze up into this thing here, and then you drop out again. Is this a final low? I don't know, but I don't like seeing all these large down candlesticks, large selling pressure all over the place on the right-hand side of these charts. I mean, here's one here. There's a couple here. What is going on? It looks like this is wanting to go lower. I mean, yeah, we got a hammer pattern down here, but this momentum needs to get worked off. So it's I don't know. I think it's gonna continue to go down until that momentum reverses. EMX still having this selling pressure stick around in some of these areas. And it's not just one chart I'm seeing it, it's in all of these charts. You can see all these big selling pressure days kind of sprinkled throughout. And the selling pressure is greater than the buying pressure in a lot of them. I mean, this blew out to the downside. We'll probably see a small up day or two and then a continuation move to the downside. And we're just seeing that across the board of large selling pressure down days that came up recently. This is Royal Gold. And then you get selling pressure weeks that show up that are large down weeks. But you can see them sprinkled through here, and the buying pressure isn't stronger than the selling pressure. So, and this one's got it too. We got one here, we got one here, and they're sprinkled throughout all over the place. And the buying pressure days are, a lot fewer. I don't see as many. Makes me think this could break to the downside. What the heck is coming? Because sometimes gold and silver lead other sectors. We've got the 10-year yield launching higher, so maybe they think that the NASDAQ's about to crash and Bitcoin's about to crash, and this will kind of get dragged down with it, and then it'll rocket up. It's tough to say. But I'm seeing these large down candlesticks, they're hanging around. And whenever I see these big selling pressure days, they should go away when you get to the right-hand side if we're going to go up. That's what I usually see. So I don't see these guys going away, which it's like, are we going lower here? Because when you see these big down candlestick buying or selling pressure and less buying pressure, it means you're going to break to the downside. So I could see this breaking to the downside here, guys. So that's kind of what I see. If you guys like this analysis, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.